Hey everyone, Nick here. Welcome to the Omniverse of Nick's next real life story. What if we were still on the gold standard? Before we get started, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the Omniverse and check out the About page and home page for the Omniverse, promoting everything that you will see and showing everything for the Omniverse's future. With all that said, let's begin. So, this is the next real life tale. What if we were still on the gold standard? So, back in 1971, August 15th, President Nixon announced the end of the gold standard, which meant that we went from gold bars, everything gold, to dollar bills. And of course, the cents and everything was kept and blah de blah. But no longer was gold bars, gold anything put as proper payment currency. And dollar bills quickly became not only the flavor of the month, but the flavor of what makes humanity what it is today. So, this banks the question, what if that didn't happen? What if we were still on the gold standard and never got taken off? Would our lives be the same as they are today? Would they be better? Or would it be the worst mistake humanity had ever made? So, this is one of those open and shut cases, or a very highly debatable case. Because let's think about this for a second. We were taken off of the gold standard because it wasn't able to manage economies and produce results that the government, economies, and true growth for monetary value would offer. So that is why Nixon took us off the gold standard and why we have ever since used the US dollar. Yes, there have been hyperinflations causing wars and depressions. Yes, there have been monetary trouble with dollars. And yes, there's been safety concerns, security, and many other problems. But that all pales in comparison to what being still on the gold standard would be. I originally had the idea to put in a situation where gold, being on the gold standard still, meant that it would actually help us. Boy, was I wrong. Diving into it more and actually thinking about it more in depth, I realized that being still on the gold standard, the reason that we were taken off, as I've stated previously, is because we weren't able to manage economies, get true monetary value, and successfully revolutionize, growth, in a word. So, if we were still on the gold standard, the human race would have been screwed. You thought our life has been freaking chaotic, and this time, it would have been even worse. Yes, there would have been great savings. Yes, there would have been some good sides. But there's still the whole thing of you have to put an idea successfully into place for it to work first to know. It's like a movie. It's like a game. It's like a plan, a strategy, a thought. You can't make something work right if you don't test it first. So, the dollar was put in place and the gold standard was taken off. And yes, there was a hyperinflation. So you could argue the test went wrong, but it has kept us going and managed economies, growth, and governments. Being on the gold standard would have never got us past phase 1. So that means the monetary value and everything we know of the economy and the governments today would have been screwed to the absolute core. And yeah, it would have made the original world wars and depressions and chaos and trouble it would have made all of that seem like a joke. You could argue that one of the world wars would not have happened because we would have not had a hyperinflation, and that we would have had many of things not happen. And I could have gone more in depth about that, but I really just stuck to the fact that without managing economies, growth for government, and actually putting together the right plan for putting us still on the gold standard, yeah, there's not too much else to say rather than this is almost an open and shut case. But again, it also is a very highly debatable case. Yeah, we would still get to this point. Yes, we would still have a lot of things stay the same, but also kind of drastically change. And almost, you could argue that it would be for the better, because an extra world war would actually, I don't know, make our world better. But true monetary value and getting us in the right place is the entire reason why we were put on the US dollar. And something I feel a lot of us don't actually put into perspective and actually think about. Yes, having still the gold standard would help value and actually put us in good currency and saving. But that's just it. The main thing that you could do with gold, the best that you can do, in my personal opinion, is save. There's very few things, especially if you get past Nixon actually still keeping us on the standard. You have to get from point A to point B successfully to go ahead. Okay? That's basically what's going on here. So, with that in mind, like I said, there's not too much else to say other than being on the gold standard still, I feel, would do more bad than good. In many more ways than one. But I'd like to see what you guys think. Honestly, I thought about going more in depth with this and looking into more research and actually thinking more cohesively about this. And you guys are more than welcome to throw in your own ideas and things of your own. That's what all these videos and the whole channel of the Omniverse is all about. But, like I said, there's only so much that you can say whenever a certain scenario opens you with a basic, answer right in front of your face. Especially when you take the time to actually look at the answer right in front of you and actually come up with something to actually present it to an audience who might not get it from the same perspective. And that's what you guys are for. Let me know what you guys think about, what if we were still on the gold standard, and how you think monetary value and how our lives would have been different. Whether it be wars, depressions, or how we would get from the point Nixon would keep us on the standard in 71 to this point in 2026. With all that said, hope you guys like the last real life what if for this list. What if Negan used Jason Voorhees list? It's coming up. I'm going to be working on 4 stories for that list straight away after this recording. And pretty soon here, we're going to be showing off the next 2 lists for the Omniverse. Whether it's before or after the Omni Games, it's yet to be discovered. So I'll see you guys later, and I hope to see your ideas and opinions about the gold standard, and if it would have been better to stay on it, or if the US dollar truly is the best case scenario. And I'll see you guys later.